Hello, I'd like to welcome back to zDoom GunCaster mod on the map pack Memento Mori. Today's question is, to be or not to be? You may submit your answers to the usual address, but be forewarned. Those who fail will not live to see the day. I had to make the regulations a little bit more stringent because so many people were bothering me with questions. So if you fail, I'll just send you into the eternal abyss and we'll call it a day. That is a fair bargain to me. Wow. I wonder how it selects what, because that was probably just a box of bullets or something and it got transmuted. Your stuff. I got a blue key. Uh-oh! Ow. Well, at least I didn't catch that much of a blow. The fritz is this? What a wacky location to hide your stuff. I love saying stuff with a slight sh to it. It gives it that little extra peppy punch. Makes it a little softer and cuter. Oh, no. I'm gonna have to call up a few people. I only have one of those, and I want to save that for a special occasion. Iron Blast, maybe? How about why not? I think I read a fancy that this is left and this is right mouse button. They actually change this around when you use this particular system. Now, it's debatable whether that should be done or not, considering what it actually means, in that you technically start firing in reverse, because usually left mouse button is just the weapon in your hand. Oh yeah, I got a free ammo out of it, or I picked one up, who knows. You know who knows? You do, because you can look it up and be like, hey man, you got it wrong, you're an oaf! And I'll be, ooh. Wow. That really hurt. Don't know if I'm a big fan of the so-called pits. The problem I have with pits is that they always feel like they're a cheap trap. It's like, hey, I found a secret. Now die for it! This secret may not be shared with the mortal realm. Should have sent an RSVP instead of just sitting around like that. Damn. An arch follow in close quarters like this? Whoever made this is fucking cruel. I'm not saying that light. I thought it wasn't dangerous because I didn't take a. Oh, fucking hell. Let's use a meta pack. Figured as much. If people ever ask you, what is war good for? I say the invention of miniguns. Probably wouldn't have had miniguns if we didn't have war. And again, if we didn't have war, we probably wouldn't need miniguns, but... God damn it. having so much issue just seeing enemies. It's not color blindness. It's not that kind of problem. The problem is more that I don't think they're there. I don't know. Part of my brain just seems to turn off at the most inopportune times. That was a megasphere. Well, I guess a medical pack isn't that bad either. Why am I here? Well... Why is there a dead Cacodemon on the... Why are there a lot of dead Cacodemons on the floor? Also, I looked it up. You cannot be telefragged by monsters. The monsters are specifically programmed so that they cannot teleport when someone else is there. The only known exception is the monster spawner boxes fired by the final boss in Doom 2. And that's mostly because it helps sort of shorten the monster overflow. Oh, now I see. So fucking clever, don't you? Think just because your uncle works at Nintendo, you can pull this kind of crap. Let me tell you, Nintendo or not, this crap does not fly with me. Goddamn uncles. There's so many uncles these days, and every one of them works at Nintendo. They did a survey, and they were like, man, like 90% of all uncles work at Nintendo. Or they're somehow related to a guy that has lots of guns. Or drugs. Drugs is also a surprisingly common uncle occupation. Can you give things posthumously? Because that's a lot of gore. And these are a lot of Cacodemons. Like, when I set up the annual budget, I didn't think there'd be this many. So let's see, can I posthumously give them? No. So I'm gonna have to scour the land looking for my money. I like the term scour. Look at all this money. I feel like the richest man in New Orleans. Wait a second. Isn't that supposed to be like more dudes? Well, whatever. That's what I missed. Well, look at this armor. Yay! I've never been this happy a puppy in my life. Mostly because I'm not a puppy. That's a really nice looking thing, by the way. This little candle lit. It's probably one thing that I'm a little sad about in Doom is that you can't do much with height. Like, you can do this, but the way this is done is that that's the floor ceiling. This is the floor. That is all this is. It's just an indenture. And while that's cool and all, it does mean that lighting is also extremely limited in what you can really do with it. Kind of sad because Doom's lighting isn't that bad. It's actually pretty neat looking. More dead Cacodemons. Were they on sale or something? Cacodemons, get your Cacodemons here. 2 for a penny, 5 for a pound. I still wonder if this is stronger or just faster than the rocket launcher. I get the feeling it's slightly weaker. But maybe it's because the rocket launcher in the regular Doom fired so slow that it felt like it had more punch than it really did. You know, the mental effect. Also, this looks pretty damn cool. Little light fixtures. You can say what you want about Memento Mori being extremely long and kind of boring towards the end because there's so much of it, but damn it if the people didn't try to make something interesting. Like, from the custom music to the map, it's not bad. It's just that there's way too much in one map pack. Not everything needs to be 32 maps like frickin' Doom 2. That's already a lot. You know? There's no shame in dimming it down a bit, just stepping back, and letting nature take its course. I don't have the slightest idea what the fuck that even means, but there you go. If you ever wanted to hear me say some philosophical bullshit, there you go. Your wish has come true. I am the mighty genie of Althor. I will grant thee one wish. I'm not a very good genie, but I do have a 75% customer satisfaction. Ooh! Does your genie have a 75% satisfaction rating? I bet you he doesn't, but I do. Oh, you're such a gloat. I have a high satisfaction rating. I am a force to be reckoned with. I will grant your singular wish with ultimate precision. Prepare to be wished. Prepare to have your wish granted. Oh damn. Is this that moment? I almost thought I was there. At that moment where the only possible solution was to pull out the old Dreadful. I don't think the regular BFG can even one-shot an Archvile like that. You'd have to be really close and make sure that all of the splash rays hit them. Damn, man. Oh my god, you think you're so clever. You know who thought he was clever? You know who? Huh? Abraham Lincoln. And guess who's dead? Abraham Lincoln's dead. Bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? Now, I'm not saying that Abraham Lincoln's dead because he thought he was smart. He's probably a pretty bright guy. But he still died, and he was a smartass. You can make correlations or causations if you want to, but I'm just saying. Yes, I did just teleport into this sector. Thanks for reminding me as to what I'm doing. Wow. There's the exit. Guess what we're not going for a while. Can I say, another thing this thing likes is it likes using a lot of imps, just imps and regular dudes. And as I've said before, hit scan enemies are fucking dumb as shit. You can do them a little bit, just not too much. Also, there's a little sector that defines that you can't look at him. Icon of Sin, you're so cute. He's so adorable. I think he needs a new haircut. Let's give the man a makeover. I want to see that Icon of Sin makeover deluxe. The problem with this kind of design is also that it lends immaculate amounts of credibility to the chain gun weapon, which can take care of human enemies relatively fast for a relatively cheap price. They can use things like shotguns and all, but the shotgun doesn't kill them instantly a lot of the times when you start doing this, like shooting through bars and all, because you don't control the pellets as much and you're not firing them fast enough to compensate for that. It's mathematics with Safi and some guy. There's Safi and then there's some guy. I know who he is. He's just some guy. That's the goddamn best frickin' I've ever heard. The guy's name is literally just some guy, and nobody knows who he is. He just showed up on the show one day, and he just became part of it somehow. Everyone's like, who's this guy? Some guy. You don't really know. How about no? We don't take too kindly to you Kako demons. Even though it has to replace random ammo in order to compensate for the fact that every weapon has individual ammo types, still glad that he managed to squeeze all the regular weapons in. I'm talking so much you can't even hear the music on a full loop. But that's why. I was wondering, why is this easy enemy here? Yeah, because right now every enemy is technically easy. The only thing that makes them difficult is that there's more than one of them. And this, of course. Excuse me for that. You know what, we're just gonna do this level, because I'm feeling lucky. Another thing I don't like is that this map pack really just has some sort of fetish for putting enemies in locations where you don't immediately see them. And it's like, wait, what's shooting me? And that's not very fun when you don't offer a lot of health pickups. Especially in the first few levels, it's like, why? Why are you doing this to me? What did I do to you? The answer is nothing. The map just wasn't designed by someone all too bright. For some reason thought I could get away with shit. Oh, hello. Well. Look at that. Why is he there too? Why? There was already a Revenant in there, and now there's a whole bunch of imps, a bunch of shotgun guys, and just so many fuckers. Why? Why do you have to stuff... Look at this. There's 100, and I already killed 100 dudes, and we're not even that far into the level. And I wouldn't be surprised if it just starts spawning in more guys, because for some reason the map creators seem to have the insecurity problem that they think the more basic monster somehow makes for a more interesting level. No, it just means I have to shoot more bullets. And for the most part, I have to cash cheap hits because of hit scan. It's really dimming down how much fun I can have with your map pack when I have to constantly cash hits because you couldn't be bothered to stop using the same enemy type a bunch. You know, if you want to be this kind of interesting, the way most people do it, and this is just a word of advice, is they start installing custom material. They start installing new, fresh monsters that aren't really in the game, because that way they can get away with this kind of shit, and it doesn't feel repetitive and kind of dumb. Just about every map we've done so far has basically been pulling the same tricks. There's a few times it's like, wow, that's a pretty cool difference. And I'm very excited. But otherwise, it's just like, oh look, I have to shoot my gun for 2 seconds, because that clears up the weak ones. Man. Still have never been able to buy that. I'm gonna use that thing. When I get to a very bad situation, I'm gonna deploy that. In fact, I'm gonna deploy that on the final level. See? Well, guess what? There's dudes over there. Oh no, there aren't. More. Just look at this. Tell me that this doesn't just sort of... Tell me this doesn't partially annoy you. That it doesn't make you kind of like be a bit grumpy about it. Because if all you do in map design is lay down a bunch of traps, That's not very exciting or engaging map design. That's just like, you're gonna get shot at again. We're at that point where we have to shoot you because we have to shoot you or something. I don't know. It's interesting and fun, but to some extent, don't forget, I did this on easy, and now I'm playing this on hard, and this feels kind of just way too compensating. Doom Hard feels cool, because Doom level design was generally pretty solid. Another thing Doom had is that even on higher difficulty modes, it didn't start spamming regular dudes just to fuck with you. Although then again, there is a set of levels, I think it's in Doom 2 though, where they basically do only this. And it's not a fun level to me. It was actually one of the least fun levels to me in the entire game. Which again, probably just proves my point. But this is just my opinion. Let's not forget that this is just me saying what I feel a Doom level should look like. It is in no way a 100% surefire way to make a good Doom level. Look at this. How's a regular player supposed to handle this? You're not guaranteed to one-shot them with a super shotgun. Meaning that effectively you... Don't forget, there might be a mod pack for this specifically that I don't know of. I was never told there's a mod pack for this. That includes like custom weapons, because what are your options in this situation? You could use a minigun and try to get them stun locked, but at most you have like 400 bullets or something. You could use a BFG, but Jesus fucking Christ, that's going to be expensive. And rather overcompensating for the situation, you could use a plasma gun. Problem with plasma gun is that again, you're going to be shooting a lot of bullets, and you might not be hitting everything, and you'll end up with 2 guys still being around. You could be using a rocket launcher, but you're probably going to hurt yourself. Look at this. There's constantly 2 reverends. Constantly. It's like it's not 1, it's always 2. There's 1, and then there's the second one, who is just sort of there because his aunt told him to go be with his friend or something. Like, it might just be this map that's like extrapolating the worst possible situations, and there's a random pain elemental. No real reason, he's just there. Just like, ha, surprise trap. Fooled you. Didn't fool me. You just made me angry. Fooling someone is having them willingly and unknowingly walk into a trap. Look at that. Almost 200 monsters. I guess it's a rather compact map for what it's worth. How the fuck are you supposed to do it? Like, I guess, again, BFG is a thing. One thing the BFG does have is that it shares plasma rounds. We've been picking up a lot of cauterizer bullets, and I assume that's why this is being so much harder than it should be. Yeah, I did terrible on that level, but it's not fun. Me bitching. I prefer just being really tired and just being crazy over me having to rant. Well, I don't have to rant, I just rant. It happens. It's an organic event. Don't forget, please, this thing is a lot more accurate than the original minigun, I think. All this symmetry is driving me nuts. Like, symmetry is fine and it looks cool, but... Are you really going to do a symmetrical level setup if you're just some monsters? Like, I know the demons have some tactics to some extent, but... You're kind of pushing how much it can be fun. Oh look, it's minigun guys on top of high location. I haven't seen that one before in this mod pack. Remember downtown in Doom 2, where the imps were like in these little coves all over the place? You could generally protect yourself against them because they didn't shoot fast, and their bullets took a moment to get there. And so despite there being a lot of them, and in very unusual locations, and in most cases you couldn't even see them because you couldn't look up or down in Doom, the fact that imps had this problem of you being far away and you being able to dodge their bullets, it had this sense of fairness to it. Which this mod can just not say. Not to mention the fact we've been playing a lot of rather cramped levels. Even the more open levels are still very cramped. They're very close quarters. For what an open level usually is, that is. how are you supposed to protect against that? You quite literally end up surrounded by monsters. How do you solve that? Here's another theory. And once I'm done with that theory, we're stopping. I have a theory that this was designed as a multiplayer pack only. You were only supposed to play this with your buddies. You were never supposed to play this on your own. This was purely designed to be used by people with friends. And the reason I'm saying that is because something about this map design just doesn't gel well with itself. It's so busy, and there's so often moments where you need to aim at 2 things at once that it really feels as if you're supposed to be there with a bunch of other dudes. And again, it's such close quarters that you can't use your rocket launcher most of the time, which is sad. Because here's the thing, you use your rocket launcher in 2 situations. 1, there's mostly enemies far away. 2, there are enemies far away, but the enemies up close don't matter. You can't use them in mixed situations. If you do, you're going to kill yourself. Because eventually you're going to have to aim at them, and they have to swap your weapons. That's going to cost you a tick, and that tick's going to kill you, or hurt you, or otherwise just cost you resources in the process. Look at this boring fucking symmetry. It's like someone just made the map and then just mirrored it everywhere. Oh look, I added another dude. Quickly mirror it before we lose the symmetry. Like, I'm not saying you should make all your maps completely asymmetrical, but if it's all you do, it gets kind of boring to some extent. Was that me, or was it just someone else? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just grumpy now. I should stop playing. You know, because when I get grumpy, I stop enjoying what I'm doing. Why? Why is your first inclination when I pick up an item to put down a trap? You've given me these armors before without Oh my fucking god. This is... Like, please, remember, hard mode or not, those guys are always there. They knew what they were doing. I'm just full of it. I'm full of it. I'm just super grump right now. Also, the cauterizer fucking sucks. The biggest problem I have with the cauterizer is that its projectile is way too sensitive to area touch. And it's incredibly likely to just bash into something. And that is a huge... So I guess it kind of makes it more efficient, because you do want to make it blow up at some... No, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm going to rest my throat, because it's getting a bit... Yeah. Mostly because of my allergies acting up. I have a minor hay fever. It's nothing big. But I have minor hay fever. And it's starting to act up. So I need to think about that. And secondly, I'm so grumped that I just can't enjoy it. There are parts of this that I'm like, yeah, cool, fun, enjoyable fun time. But don't forget, if I'm super grumpy, all I do is complain. And that's not fair. Not to the map creators who put in their time and effort to make a nice map, to make a nice story. It's also not fair to me, because now I can't fully enjoy this and the mod I'm using. So yeah. Bye-bye. You know, when I think about it, Doom has really, really bad crowd control when you don't... Like, the rocket launcher is the best you've got for, like, handling clusters of dudes. Although, yeah, I guess most enemies are weak enough that you can take them out with a minigun. Theorizing.